Part 52. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 511. Ji Qinggui's expression became excited. Godfather. It really is the Godfather. The Godfather really came to rescue her, and she knew she would not be abandoned. Ji Qinggui crawled at the foot of the visitor's trousers, sobbing and begging in a low voice, "Godfather, help me." She took back all the luck. You clearly said that once the luck is robbed, it is impossible to go back. I made a mistake in this matter. He shook his head. There are always oddities in everything. I didn't expect such a wonderful thing to happen in the world. Air transfer is indeed irreversible. But it is undeniable that a daughter of luck is a daughter of luck, and God protects her. Godfather, you must have a way to help me get my luck back, right? Ji Qing gritted his teeth slightly, and said in a weak voice, even if you can't get it back, you can kill her. I have no choice, he sighed softly. I was able to plunder her luck before because her soul was incomplete. Even so, I only took 90% of it by force. Hearing this sentence, Ji Qinggui despaired. Even the Godfather can't help it, so she can only wait to die. But there are other ways. He stroked Ji Qinggui's head, as if petting a pet. It's just that the method is a bit cruel. I can, Ji Qinggui caught hope, I can do anything. He raised his eyebrows, and said slowly, everyone in the Ji family will suffer, even if your parents are going to die, so can you. Ji Qing was taken aback for a moment, and couldn't help but tremble. Godfather, what do you mean? A person's luck is fixed at birth, and of course you have to pay a price if you want to change it. He smiled slightly. I can transfer the luck of everyone in the Ji family to you, although even the daughter of luck has 10% of the luck. Even luck can't be compared, but it can make you live. Do you want it? The conditions for air transportation transfer are actually very harsh. Ji Qinggui and Sci-fi have the same horoscope and the same gender. That's why he was able to use Ji Qinggui as a medium to successfully obtain most of the luck of the daughter of luck on the night of the 15th full moon, when the power of yin and yang and the 5 elements were at their peak. In order to reward Ji Qinggui, he also left some for her. In addition, only the luck of relatives is the best, because there is blood relationship. The muscles on Ji Qinggui's face trembled violently, obviously in great struggle. But she remembered how Ji Longta and his wife had ruthlessly abandoned her. She dug her fingernails into her palms, and said through her teeth, Godfather, please help me. Since Ji Longta and his wife are ruthless, don't blame her for being cruel. Benefits are the most important thing. This is what she just learned today. Okay, it's my good boy. His smile widened. To achieve great things, you have to be ruthless. The Godfather will help you. He grabbed Ji Qinggui's shoulder and lifted her up. At this moment, Ji Qinggui suddenly screamed and passed out. S-level spiritual evolutionary, he didn't show any surprise, and his figure didn't move at all. He just glanced lightly, overestimating one's abilities. He didn't fight Yu Jian, just took Ji Qinggui and disappeared from the spot. Yu Jian's expression changed abruptly. Almost at the same time, her huge mental power enveloped the capital of Mustun Principality, but she failed to catch Ji Qinggui's existence. Junior sister, as you expected, that person appeared, but something happened. Yu Jian quickly contacted Sci-fi, come here quickly. 5 minutes later, Sci-fi arrived at the place where Ji Qinggui disappeared. After listening to Yu Ejian's narration, Sci-fi's expression froze, suddenly disappeared. Yes, Yu Ejian said solemnly, I've been staring at it, but I didn't notice any space system evolutionists appearing nearby, but they really disappeared suddenly. Evolvers of the space system are equally rare as those of the spiritual system. As long as it is a space system evolutionist, the minimum is a super-grade. The leader of the Evolutionary Alliance is an S-level space evolutionary, whose evolution ability is teleportation, and can bring others teleportation. but it is impossible to exceed Yuejian's perception. It is even more impossible to leave the city directly in a short time. It's really strong. I fucking shook his fingers. I don't think even a senior brother is his opponent. It's a good thing you weren't there just now, otherwise I'm afraid he will attack you directly. Yu Jian frowned. We have to find Ji Qinggui as soon as possible. Call your benefactor, and let's go together. Senior brother Fifth left me a tracking talisman. I fucking took out a piece of talisman from his pocket, bit his fingertips, and dripped blood on it. Soon, 3 characters appeared on the paper. 49 City. The Godfather took Ji Qinggui directly from Mustun Principality to 49 City. The leader of the Evolved Alliance does not have such strength. The teachers and sisters looked at each other and got into the car as quickly as possible. While speeding, I fucking grabbed his cell phone and dialed Yu Zion, Brother 9, borrow the Mo family's plane. At this time, Qinjunmen. Ji Qingjio just finished today's training. After she came out of the martial arts field, many guards greeted her. Originally, there were very few girls in the league, and Ji Qingjio's appearance was extremely high, so many members secretly fell in love with her. But whenever someone summoned up the courage to ask Ji Qingjio out, Zhang Shuiyan would arrange various tasks temporarily, and the members complained endlessly. Today is no exception. After dismissing the other members, Zhang Shuiyan nodded towards Ji Qingjio. Miss Qingjio. Ji Qing clasped his fists together. Team Zhang. You have been promoted to the 8th level now, so you don't need to be polite to me. Zhang Shuiyan smiled slightly. Have you heard about the Ji family? Mr. Ji went to the hospital, your parents sold their assets, and your sister. Ji Qingjio is a martial idiot and doesn't care about the outside world. The members of the Qinjun League all know what the Ji family's attitude is towards her, and they never mention it in front of her. She did know about the Ji family's affairs. She was stunned for a moment, then shook her head slowly. I don't feel anything. There really wasn't anything that could touch her. In the past, she might have hoped for family affection, but later she discovered that some things are not something that can be expected. As time went by, Ji Qingjio's heart became completely cold. That's good. I'm still worried that you will feel uncomfortable. Zhang Shuiyan smiled. Go and rest, and don't answer strange calls. Ji Qingjio hummed. Thank you Team Zhang for your concern. During this time, Ji Longta and his wife had already called her from many numbers, but she blocked them all, and she didn't want to hear what they had to say. Zhang Shuiyan watched Ji Qingjio leave, and then went to see Mu Qingmeng. Ma'am, the Ji family couple is here again. It seems that they owe too much debt and are completely desperate. Hearing this, Mu Qingmeng asks Yao Wenjian, I accept Qingyao as a goddaughter, do you have any objection? No. Xiao Wenjian shook his head. I've always wanted to have a daughter, but who knew she was a brat? Mu Qingmeng nodded and said, Shuiyan, tell everyone that from today on, Qingjio will be our daughter, and unrelated people are prohibited from appearing in the territory of the Qinjun League. Yes, ma'am. Zhang Shuiyan replied, and then walked out. Outside the Qinjun League, Ji Longta and MRSG were blocked at the gate by guards, and they kept clamoring to see Ji Qingjio. Both of you, please go back. Zhang Shuiyan said calmly, you guys are the ones who want to sever ties with Miss Qingjio. Why are you going back on your word now? There is no such thing as parents and children severing ties. Ji Longta blushed. If you don't let me see Qingjio, I will sue you. Although you go to sue, she is only born and not raised. She was raised by the Qinjun League and has nothing to do with your Ji family. Zhang Shuiyan smiled. In addition, Miss Qingyao has been adopted as a foster daughter by the leader and his wife. Do you two think that you are capable of robbing Qinjun men? This sentence was like a bolt from the blue. Ji Longta couldn't believe it. What? Adopted as a righteous daughter by the leader and his wife? Doesn't it mean that Ji Qingjio even has a chance to inherit the Qinjun League? No matter how bad it is the position of the Dharma protector. This is something he never dared to ask for in his life. Longta once again felt what it means to be heartbroken like an ant, and the unprecedented regret drowned out all the thoughts in his heart. If he had treated Kinjeo kindly at that time and hadn't favored Kingwei, he wouldn't have come to where he is today. But now, Kingwei has ruined Ji's family, but Kinjeo has skyrocketed, making them unable to climb high. Not to mention now, even the Ji family in the past can't even compare with the guard from the Qinjun League. Longta was stunned, as if he had lost his soul. MRSG couldn't help crying again. What kind of evil did we do? Back then, the monk couldn't say that within 2 months, our Ji family members were going to die. Longta, this can't be true, can it? At that time, she only took this sentence as a joke, but now she panicked. Hurry up, let's go to Guanghua Temple, Longta exclaimed, maybe we can still be saved. MRSG also woke up like a dream, and immediately followed Longta to Guanghua Temple. The monk came out of the main temple with a small light head, and was about to go out to steal a barbecue. Master, Longta looked anxious. Master, please stay. The monk paused, a little unhappy. Why did the 2 benefactors come here? Master, I was blind, so I didn't believe what Master said, so I came here to apologize to Master. Longta clasped his hands together and bowed 3 times, Master, please save us. The poor monk reminded the 2 of you a long time ago, but it's a pity that you didn't stop your daughter. The monk looked pitifully, it's late, you too. Longta shook his body, late. Master, what does this mean? It means that there is no way to save it. The monk was impatient to go to have a barbecue. Please ask someone else to be wise. Longta became even more anxious. He took a step forward, and was about to grab the monk's cassock, but at this moment, his eyes widened, and his body suddenly fell limply as if something had been extracted, and he fell into a severe depression. In a coma. The little monk was startled, and immediately hid behind the monk, trembling, Master. The monk looked dignified, and heaved a long sigh, the luck is exhausted. Every plot is paving the way for the main line step by step. The Godfather is not a master, and he is not someone King Qin knows. The spoilers I will give you will definitely not affect my main line. Please guess slowly Ovo. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 512. Longta suddenly fell into a coma, which also startled MRSG. At first, she thought that the monk had used some kind of trick. Later, when she also felt the dizziness attacking her nerves, she finally panicked. Master! Master, save me! MRSG grabbed the monk's cassock and kept pleading, Master! There was despair and fear in her eyes. Her voice stopped abruptly in an instant, and all the subsequent words for help were stuck in her throat. MRSG's vision was flooded by darkness, and she also passed out. The little monk just sneaked out to have a barbecue with his master. When has he ever seen such a scene? His legs were a little weak, and he grabbed the monk's sleeves tightly, panicking, Master! Are they dead, Master? No, they just fainted. The monk comforted. Master reminded them very early, but they didn't take it seriously. Now, it's just been 2 months. The little monk was still very scared. Master, since they are unconscious, we have to save them. Don't you know some powerful exercises? What age is it? You must believe in science. The monk coughed lightly and said solemnly, the Buddha can save people, so why do you need a doctor? Of course, you have to call 120 to call an ambulance. It is impossible to put them in the ancestral hall together with us. Do you say chanting scriptures? The little monk nodded ignorantly. He always had a feeling that he was going astray, but he couldn't tell what was wrong. He scratched his bare head and didn't think about it for a long time. Fortunately, he didn't think about it, and said cheerfully, Master, let's go to barbecue quickly. Didn't you say that the thing called beef tendon is delicious? Disciple, I have something to do for master. You can go to the pedestrian street to buy a candied horse. The monk took out a few steel coins. Remember to bring a jug of wine for master on the way back later. After successfully fooling the little monk away, the monk called the emergency number while checking the situation of Ji Longta and his wife. The more he checked, the more shocked he was, and he couldn't help but gasped, so ruthless. He did see that the members of Ji's family all died young. I just didn't expect that the reason would be that my luck was exhausted. And it was plundered in just a few seconds, and there was nothing left. Even if sent to the hospital, I'm afraid he won't survive 7 days. There are often such things as taking advantage of luck to snatch luck, and I have encountered several cases when monks practiced. But this kind of emergency transportation method is unheard of, and it makes people's scalp tingle. The monk took out his new mobile phone just released on the cloud, pondered for a moment, and then called Sci-fi on WeChat. Ba, female benefactor, are you okay? At this moment, on the plane to Siju City. Sci-fi's mobile phone was turned on hands-free, and after listening to the monk's narration, she said, I see, I'll rush over there right away, and you will go to the Kinjun League and say you want to find Ji Kinjao. Don't worry, you will be indispensable for the reward. At the end of the call, Yu Ejian raised her eyebrows. Ji Qinggui's heart is really ruthless this time, but that's her relatives. If she says she can do it, she will do it. Even though Ji Longta and his wife value profit again, they have raised Ji Qinggui for so many years and gave her everything that is good, but it cost hundreds of millions just to find medicinal materials for her. But Ji Qinggui didn't miss the old feelings at all. The luck is forcibly plundered, and the only end is death. Ji Qinggui also knew about this kind of thing. They have nothing to do with me, and I can't save everyone. Sci-fi frowned, I'm more worried about Kinjao. Although with the help of Kinjunmen, Ji Kinjao has severed ties with the Ji family. But Ji Qinggui's godfather's methods are indeed superb. How could he know that he? So you are really lucky. Yu Xian suddenly turned her head. The Zhou family is, and the Ji family is too. Sci-fu looked at him, ninth brother. Why didn't you tell me about this kind of thing? Yu Xian said in a cold tone, Miss Si. It was the first time he called her that. The honorific title is used, but there is a kind of alienation separated by thousands of ravines. Sci-fi was startled. Sorry. Yu Xian closed her eyes and sighed softly, the tone is a bit heavy, I'm worried about you. Worries are understatement, he already felt what is called fear in his heart. Although he is not proficient in yin-yang and 5 elements, he has also learned about it from Ji Chunyuan. In the past, the barbarians wanted to destroy the dragon's veins and grab the luck of Daxia. The fate of a dynasty is much greater than that of people. Fortunately, Ji Chunyuan saw through the barbarian's strategy and guarded the dragon vein. I'm sorry. Sci-fi said in a low voice, the matter is complicated. I haven't checked it out yet. I don't want you to worry about it. You are already very busy. Yu Xian also knew that she seldom thought about herself in everything, so she couldn't help but sigh, if you encounter trouble in the future, remember to tell me. Got it. Sci-fi made an okay gesture, let's go and solve the trouble. Yu Xian hummed, as if thinking of something, suddenly smiled, do you want to rub? Naturally, he also knew that his luck was great, and he finally understood her abnormal behavior a while ago. It turns out that rubbing refers to rubbing luck. Sly girl. Sci-fi. How did she feel that after the incident was revealed, he became even more black-hearted? Sci-fi glanced at him, and sat down beside him resolutely, come on. No rubbing, no rubbing. Sci-fi left the Duchy of Mustun suddenly, and caught the elder of the Yin family by surprise. Yin Yongzi was a little surprised, Grandpa, could it be that she discovered something that made her return to Daxia in such a hurry? She'll come back, and we'll follow. The great elder's voice was cold, It just so happens that Yin Yeonion's family is also in Daxia, and it's best to catch them all. Yoon 11, you go and book the nearest flight. Yin Youngzi nodded and opened the international flight ordering software. At the same moment, the electrocardiogram of old Manji, who was recuperating in the number 1 hospital of Siju City, suddenly turned into a straight line. The nurse in charge of Mr. G was shocked, and immediately called the doctor to start emergency measures. But the line on the electrocardiogram is still very flat, without any ups and downs. This is the first time the medical staff have seen such a situation. Even if it is sudden cardiac death, the heartbeat cannot be completely stopped in an instant and cannot be recovered. In other words, just at that second, Mr. G died. But Mr. G doesn't have any acute illness. How could this happen? Just now 2 more members of G's family were sent to the hospital. I heard that they fell into a coma suddenly. The G's family won't really get involved with something dirty, right? They really committed crimes, who knows what happened to them? The medical staff looked at each other in blank dismay, feeling a little more terrified as they couldn't figure it out. The other side. After getting the luck of G Longta, MRSG and Mr. G, G Kinggui's eyesight returned to normal. This made her even more unable to imagine how great SI fucking's luck was. How good would it be if SI fucking died early? Then this luck is hers. The Godfather is communicating remotely with a person via electronic devices at this moment. The other party was quite strange. Why are you still in the mood to help others get luck? It's just useless chess. He glanced at Ji Qinggui lightly, and said indifferently, it's just adding some fun, why not do it? The other party said, it's a pity, most of the luck has been taken back. It seems that we need to find a new daughter of luck. However, despite saying this, everyone knows that the daughter of luck is so easy to appear. While talking to the other party, the Godfather helped Ji Qinggui win a person's luck. Hey, I didn't expect your sister to be the most lucky in your family. He let out a doubt. No, why is she in the same family as Qin Junmen? Ji Qinggui clenched her fingers tightly and her nails dug into her palm. She has climbed a high branch and has already severed ties with us. Godfather, can I still get her luck? With SI fucking's luck, she has SI fucking's talent. Then if she got Ji Qinjeo's luck, wouldn't the Qinjun League be hers? Ji Qinggui's heart was excited uncontrollably. The blood relationship cannot be broken, of course. He smiled. Finally, it's a little more difficult, I like it. Here, the monk has already arrived at the Qinjun League and successfully met Ji Qinjeo. Ji Qinjeo was having dinner with Mu Qingmen's family, and he was not affected. Just when the monk was about to leave, Ji Qinjeo swayed and fell down slowly. Qingyao, Mu Qingmen's expression changed. Quick! Call the doctor. The monk immediately pinched Ji Qinjeo's wrist, and blurted out, this person hasn't given up yet. Zhang Shuiyan's brows and eyes were cold. What does master mean? Doctors are useless, you need to find an onmyoji. The monk said quickly, I'll delay it for a while, you go quickly. As soon as the sentence came out, Mu Qingmen immediately said, go find it. The monk is fighting the Godfather, but he can barely delay. Suddenly, he spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale instantly. Humph! The Godfather snorted softly, I like to be so overconfident. In the competition for luck, he dares to be the second, and no one dares to be the first. He accelerated the speed of seizing Ji Qinjeo's luck, but suddenly, as if he felt something, his pupils shrank violently, and for the first time a look called horrified appeared on his face, and he couldn't help but lose his voice. Ziwei luck. How can there be a lucky owner of Ziwei beside the daughter of luck? People with great luck are among the top dragons and phoenixes in the world, and there is only one top-level luck like Ziwei luck. Just as one mountain cannot accommodate 2 tigers, it is reasonable to say that even if they are not mortal enemies, the 2 masters of great fortune are absolutely impossible to be so close. He could even see that these two strands of luck had tended to intertwine with each other. He has studied luck for many years, and has never encountered such a thing. As for the Kinjunmen, seeing Sci-fucking rushing over, the monk said pleasantly, "Female benefactor." Sci-fucking brows and eyes were calm, "I'm here." At this moment, the two great fortunes protected Ji Kinjao at the same time. Ask for a sweet monthly pass for His Majesty King QWQ. The Godfather is definitely not a big boss. I kept saying that the big boss didn't show up and didn't mention it. Lao Xiaoxiang has been having problems recently, and the second update can't be synchronized. I didn't know until I saw your comments, and then I went to the editor. Ching Ching was very difficult. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 513. The monk stood in front of Mu Qingmeng and the others with a staff in his hand, sharing the majestic pressure for them. Amitba. The monk murmured. That person's methods are superb, but at the same time, he angered the daughter of the emperor's fate and luck, and he will definitely not get any advantage. In the Kinjun League, except for the monk, no one else knew what happened. Mu Qingmeng also only saw Sci stabbing silver needles into several acupuncture points on Ji Kinjao's body, and Ji Kinjao's face gradually returned to blood. She breathed a sigh of relief, with lingering fears in her heart. Fortunately, there is Ching Ching. Otherwise, it might be too late when they find the Onmyoji. The two great fortunes protect each other. Even if it is the Godfather, there is no way to force Ji Kinjao's fortune to Ji Qingwei. He took a step back suddenly, swayed his body, and lost his voice. It's really Ziwei's luck. What? Ziwei luck? Didn't it disappear after Emperor Yin's death? Hearing this sentence, the other party's tone changed. Where did the Ziwei luck come from? Yin Huang was one of the people they feared the most. Obviously at that time, the great Xia dynasty had internal and external troubles and was about to fall apart. Even if a god came, it would definitely not be able to save it. But there happened to be a Yin Huang. He let the world know what it means to truly turn the tide. One man can defeat 1,000 troops. Fortunately, he died early, otherwise he would not have imagined how huge the Daxia Empire would be today, let alone imagine how terrifying the power of faith gathered on Emperor Yin would be after Daxia III and even after all eternity. Such people are absolutely not allowed to exist. The Godfather was more suspicious than the other party. Is it the fate of the Emperor? Ziwei star originally represented the Emperor star. Therefore, the person whose fate palace ruler is Ziwei star is originally the appearance of an emperor. Adding the fate of the king, that is the absolute emperor. He had only seen such a situation in Yin Huang. According to the laws of the world, it is absolutely impossible for the fate of the emperor to appear again, and Emperor Yin is dead. So what is going on? Stop talking, come back soon, the other party said anxiously. Forget about your useless chess piece, be careful to put yourself in it. The Godfather really meant that. He glanced at Ji Qingwei, who was in great joy, and shook his head. Short-sighted and shallow, he helped her twice, but she couldn't seize the opportunity, and he didn't bother to care about her anymore. I don't know when he will come here next time, and when will it be? Good boy, I'm leaving, he said in a gentle voice. Remember to take care of yourself in the future. Only then did Ji Qingwei come back to her senses. She was taken aback for a moment, and hurriedly said, Godfather, don't leave yet, teach me how to deal with Sci. He didn't speak, his heart was full of ridicule. At this time, I still want to deal with the daughter of luck, and I don't see what I am. Just when he was about to leave, all of a sudden, his hair stood on end, as if he was being stared at by something cold and terrifying, making his movements stagnate. In less than 3 seconds, it was as if a giant hammer had slammed down on his chest, and he suffered an unprecedented blow in an instant. He suddenly spat out a big mouthful of blood, and all his internal organs rolled violently at this moment. Ji Qinggui's eyes widened suddenly, with a terrified expression. Godfather. The change in the Godfather naturally attracted the other party's attention. Damn it. Come on, I'll pull you back, and pay the price. It's better than losing your life here. The Godfather staggered 2 steps, and also felt frightened. What kind of evolutionary ability is this? He was already surprised to meet an S-level spiritual evolutionist before, so why is there another one? He didn't care about Ji Qinggui at all. His voice was weak but fast. Quick, pull me. Just as Ji Qinggui was about to stand up to help the Godfather, he was surprised to find that he had disappeared. It just disappeared out of thin air, as if passing through a random door. Ji Qinggui looked around like crazy, but there was still no second person. The previous joy was once again replaced by collapse. What's going on here? At the same moment, the talisman paper in Sci-Fi's hand ignited. I found it. It's in a warehouse in the north of the city. Brother 9, let's go there. She got up and told Mu Qingmeng, Aunt Mu, Qinjiao is fine, she will be in a coma for a while, take more supplements when she wakes up. Mu Qingmeng nodded in a daze, and after a few seconds, she came to her senses and said hastily, Qing, did you encounter some troublesome things? Can we help? It's okay. Sci-Fi held Yuzian's hand, let's go first and be back in a while. Yuzian looked down at her slender porcelain white fingers, and hummed. The two go out. Sci-Fi's hand was held backwards, and his waist was also clasped by the other hand. His voice was cool, I'll take you there. She raised her eyebrows. Ninth brother, are you a space evolutionist? Otherwise, it would be impossible to seriously injure Ji Qinggui's Godfather directly from a distance. Yuzian said, some connections. Actually, I can do it too, ninth brother, why don't you let me use your evolutionary ability, and I'll take you there. Sci-Fi blinked, but it's definitely not as strong as your own use. After all, for an evolutionary like Yuzian, even if she copied his abilities, it was impossible for her to copy them one by one. But for the evolutionists who were lower than her, after she copied their abilities, they were even more powerful. Yuzian took a deep look at her. Don't use your evolutionary ability, and don't tell others, even people you know. Copying such an evolutionary ability seems to have nothing to do with the spiritual, space, and time elements, but it can be called one of the most terrifying evolutionary abilities. It's a crime to conceive by. There will always be people with bad intentions. I know. Sci-Fi lazily said, you're not just someone you know, so it doesn't matter if I tell you. In her bright eyes, Yuzian was defeated. He chuckled softly, yes, I'm fine. Here, in the Qinjun League, Ji Qinjiao's breathing has completely calmed down, and Zhang Xuyan's heart is relieved. The development of the matter made Xiao Wenjian also confused. He took a step forward and clasped his hands together. Dare to ask, Master, is there a catastrophe coming? Leader, don't worry about it, the monk said, everything has its own destiny, and the secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. Oh, my apprentice called me. The leader waits a moment. He pressed the answer button. Teacher. Master, I didn't get any candied haws on the other end of the phone. The little monk was aggrieved with a little genius watch. I also added my own pocket money to make you a jug of wine. The room fell silent for an instant. Among the people present, which one is not the one with good hearing? The monk looked serious. Disciple, don't talk nonsense. Master, I didn't talk nonsense. The little monk was anxious. Monks don't lie. Xiao Wenjian coughed lightly. Shui Han, you and the master go to Guanghua temple and add some incense money. The monk smiled immediately. Thank you, leader. The Qinjun League has a guard stationed in the north of the city, and it has been deployed one step ahead of time, and Yuejian also drove there. After Sci-fucking and Yuzian arrived, only Ji Qingwei, who was pinned to the ground by the guards, remained. It's been searched, and there is no second person. Yujian stepped forward, but the blood has been collected and sent for inspection, so we should be able to find something. Sci-fucking nodded. Just now Brother 9 attacked him with his evolutionary ability, he must have been seriously injured. Yuejian glanced at Yuzian, and couldn't help being a little in awe. Even she couldn't guarantee that she would be able to fight the Godfather and get back unscathed, but this man was able to seriously injure him. He can't attack, and he can't defend, and he must have used some kind of escape method in a short period of time, Yuzian said calmly, but he is unparalleled in the study of luck. It is true that there is no second person who can plunder the luck of the daughter of luck. Seeing the moon thoughtfully. No wonder when she met Ji Qingwei's godfather, he chose to turn around and leave. Not because he didn't want to kill her, but because he couldn't. Sci-fucking took out the third piece of talisman paper Yuan Mingqi gave her, but this time she couldn't find the position of the godfather. She frowned. The talisman paper is invalid. Where did the godfather go? Ninth brother, I suspect that Daxia's dragon veins are passive, and he has nothing to do with him. Sci-fucking looked solemn. He wants to take my luck, and Daxia's luck is much more than mine. Yuzian closed her eyes, with a murderous look at the end of her eyes. I know. Daxia is the bottom line, and so is the girl. Sci-fu leaned towards Yujian. Moonlight shook her head slightly. In other words, the godfather will definitely not be from the Free State. It's you again. Ji Qingwei couldn't bear it anymore, and screamed, it's not your luck that I took this time, why do you insist on making things difficult for me? Only then did Sci-fucking remember Ji Qingwei's existence. She turned her head, because Qinjiao is mine, understand? But she obviously took it too. Ji Qingwei's voice trembled, why do you treat her so well? What she still couldn't accept was that Ji Qinjiao also left her far behind, and was adopted as a foster daughter by the leader of the Qinjun League and the leader's wife. But in her plan, Ji Qinjiao should always be her control group. In the end, she was the funniest clown. Sci-fucking crossed his arms and raised his eyebrows, I'm happy. Ji Qingwei was out of breath and spat out a mouthful of blood. This mouthful of blood is different from before, it really hurt her origin. Her face was pale and she was paralyzed on the ground, unable to stand up. Ji Qingwei fell from heaven to hell again. She thought that the appearance of the godfather would save her, but she was caught by Sci-fucking again. You don't think your godfather ran away, so you can run too. Sci-fucking lifted her up slowly, narrowing his fox eyes lightly, run, let me see. Daxia is the bottom line, and the girl is also QWQ. I really like your majesty. Going home after dinner with my best friend, I saw someone selling ice powder at a stall on the road. I said that we can set up a stall in the evening when we have nothing to do. My best friend said yes, you can set up a stall to tell your fortune. Smiley face, fiction, pure fiction, do not take it seriously. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 514. This sentence made Ji Qingwei's ears buzz. She looked at Sci-fucking in disbelief, her lips trembled. The godfather's sudden departure was also because of Sci-fucking? How can this be? In Ji Qingwei's mind, the godfather is an omnipotent god who covers the sky with one hand. She couldn't accept that the godfather vomited blood, and she couldn't accept that it had anything to do with Sci-fucking. Only then did she realize that Sci-fucking in her cognition was just the tip of the iceberg, and this huge iceberg was attacking her right now, making her breathless. What do you want? Ji Qingwei's heart was filled with fear. She screamed heart-piercingly, you can't do anything to me, even if you go to appeal, they will never believe in such things as grabbing luck bullshit. In the modern technological society, who would believe in such mysterious things? Sci-fucking has no way to convict her. What's more, she is also taking advantage of Ji Longta and his wife's luck. Why should others care about her own affairs? Sci-fucking glanced at Ji Qingwei indifferently, but didn't respond, and dialed Ji Xingzi's phone number in front of her. Hey, yes, I'm grabbing her and taking all the luck out of her body. Come down, alright. No problem, Ji Xingzi agreed very happily. It is very easy for me to transfer the luck of ordinary people. I will come here, which happens to be good for me. Ji Qingwei heard the content of the conversation clearly, and her lips trembled even more. Who the hell are you? How does Sci-fucking even know the person who transfers luck? With such a wide network, just become an actor in the entertainment industry. Is this interesting? Someone you can't afford. Sci-fucking smiled slightly. You're right, I don't have time to meddle in other people's business, but I'll take care of it. Don't think about taking other people's luck to get away with it. It belongs to my parents. They are willing to give it to me. Ji Qingwei almost went crazy. They also want to help me get your luck. Why do you still care about them? What a nosy. Yu Xian's tone was cool. The news came from the hospital that Mr. Ji is gone, and Ji Longta and his wife are still in a coma. Mr. Ji was already old, and the downfall of the Ji group hit him hard, so he couldn't bear it when he was robbed of his luck by the godfather, and died on the spot. The Ji family fell apart, and the other houses had already seen that the situation was not right. They divided the family property and ran away, leaving the building empty. Yes, I fucking said, ninth brother, help me gather other nobles from famous families. They really believe in luck and feng shui. Yu Xian twitched her eyebrows, and she already understood what she was going to do. Okay. Early the next morning, all the famous nobles were summoned, and they all came to the number 1 hospital. When they found out that the Yu family had also come, they were all a little confused. Is it possible that something big is going to happen? But Mr. Yu is standing here, and the situation of the Yu family has not changed much. Until Ji Xingzi walked in slowly with Ji Qingwei in his hand, he let go of his hand and threw Ji Qingwei to the ground without any sympathy. Now Ji Qingwei's face is known to everyone, but it's all infamy. Especially these famous nobles have all heard of Ji Qingwei's name as a genius. How mysterious and desirable she used to be, she is now disgusting. Why is it her again? MRSU looked disgusted. I heard that she was restricted from entering and exiting the Duchy of Mustan. How did she come back? If Ji Qingwei still wanted to pester Yu Yao, she would not agree. I'm sorry to invite you all here, because this matter is very important. Ji Xingzi pinched a few pieces of talisman paper, but in order to make you believe me, I will show you a few gadgets first. Under the bewildered gaze of a group of famous nobles, Ji Xingzi summoned his Shikigami and performed several yin and yang techniques. Especially the rejuvenation of dead wood, which left everyone dumbfounded. Old Man Yu's expression was startled, and he blurted out, Onmyoji. The Yu family has an Onmyoji, but they only have the most basic ability to read feng shui and astrology. This is a real Onmyoji. Okay, now let's get to the point. Ji Xingzi pointed to Ji Qingwei, who was paralyzed on the ground. This woman's lifespan is about to run out, so she robbed the lives of other members of her Ji family. Absolutely can't stay. If you let her go on like this, your lives will be robbed, and everyone will become her nourishment. In order to prevent her from doing a lot of evil, I rushed over from Dongzhou immediately. He didn't talk about luck, and took Si fucking out as well. As soon as the sentence came out, the audience was in an uproar. Yu Yao was so shocked that his expression shattered. Qingwei. Ji Qingwei actually did such a vicious thing? Even though Ji Qingwei plagiarized, she still stayed in the good old days in his heart. She is obviously a pure and flawless girl. How could she be so selfish? The other famous nobles were all in a cold sweat. They all knew that Ji Qingwei was controlled by Ji Xingzi, but they immediately took a few steps back. You're talking nonsense. Ji Qingwei never expected that someone would actually say this kind of thing outright, she screamed, and I didn't steal my life, it was. She couldn't say the following words, they were all in her throat, her mouth kept opening and closing, but no sound came out. She must tell everyone that Sci-fucking is the daughter of luck. There are people beyond people, and there is a sky beyond the sky, there must be someone who can deal with Sci-fucking. But she couldn't bring herself to say these words. Ji Xingzi naturally knew what she was thinking, glanced at her, and said unhurriedly, my surname is Ji. Ji family. One of the 3,000-year-old families, the Onmyoji family. The means Ji Xingzi showed earlier made them not doubt what he said. In the whole great Xia, who is the orthodox way of yin and yang and 5 elements, only the Ji family. Ji Qingwei's eyes widened suddenly. Can Sci-fucking and even the members of Ji's family be driven at will? Why is the daughter of luck so blessed by the heavens? Ji Xingzi waved his hand, and a talisman was pasted on Ji Qingwei's body. Ji Qingwei was instantly fixed on the ground, only his eyes could move. She couldn't speak, and her limbs were imprisoned, and she couldn't even help La Saifu to fall into the water. At this very moment, she felt that something in her was passing. After the luck she got from Ji Longta and his wife began to leave her gradually, the severe backlash of losing all 5 senses enveloped her again. This was the second backlash. Her eyes went blind, and her sense of smell and touch completely disappeared. After luck returned to Ji Longta and his wife. Ji Xingzi said calmly, both of you, wake up. Ji Longta's memory still stays in the time when he went to Guanghua Temple to find a monk, and he was a little bit overwhelmed. This is. Before Ji Xingzi could open his mouth, someone had already stepped forward and said with grief, Ji Longta, you have raised a good daughter. Do you know that you have raised her for more than 10 years, and she wants your life instead? If Master Ji hadn't come over in time, you would have gone to see Lord Yan with the old man. Ji Longta was taken aback. What? After hearing what Ji Qingwei did, he swayed and almost fainted again. This is the daughter they have worked so hard to raise for more than 10 years? No wonder the monks in Guanghua Temple would say that they would die within 2 months. But Ji Longtan never thought that it was his daughter who took his life with his own hands. MRSG was so angry that she trembled all over, raised her hand, and slapped Ji Qingwei's face. Look at what you did, do you have a conscience? After she finished speaking, she couldn't understand her hatred, and slapped her a few more times. The corners of Ji Qingwei's eyes were bleeding, she couldn't see, she couldn't speak, the pain seemed to be magnified countless times at this moment. Blood mixed with tears flowed down, she whimpered, and wanted to plead with Ji Longta and his wife, but it was too late. And all of this is her own fault, no one can blame her. Other families have no intention of taking care of the Ji family's family affairs. For them, making friends with Ji Xingzi is the most important thing right now. Mr. Ji, please stop. Old master, you hurriedly called him, I would like to invite you to visit Yu's house. I wonder if you have time. You are such a hero. Fortunately, we saved our lives because of you. I'm nothing at all, my elder brother is really powerful. Ji Xingzi couldn't help blowing Sci-fucking's rainbow fart. My elder brother waved his hand, and Dongsang's yin and yang family will fall. Old man, you took a deep breath, there is such a genius. I'm not free today. Ji Xingzi didn't want to go to Yu's house either, let's talk about it. Then don't bother Mr. Ji. Old master, you respectfully said, if you have time in the future, please invite Mr. Ji to sit at Yu's house. Yu's family welcomes you at any time. An hour later, Ji Xingzi finally got rid of the siege of other families and joined Sci-fucking. I'm exhausted. He wiped his sweat and muttered, it's not good to be famous, people look for it every day. Sci-fucking crossed his arms and raised his eyebrows, I think you've adapted well. Brother, everything has been done. Ji Xingzi patted his chest, although the luck has gone back, the damage is irreversible. the couple of Ji's family will have less lifespan, and they will often encounter stones when they walk in the future. This kind of thing fell. As for that Ji Qingwei, she can't die now, the Qinjun League has already taken her away, don't even think about coming out in this life. Life is worse than death, which is the greatest punishment. I fucking nodded, it's troublesome, let's go, I invite you to dinner, brother Ju treats you. Here we come. Ji Xingzi stepped forward quickly. The other side. After Ji Xingzi left, the other families had no intention of staying, and all left one after another. Yu Yao stood there in a daze, not because Ji Qingwei was taken away by the Qinjun men, but because his feelings over the years were all wrongly paid. He couldn't believe that he would regard Ji Qingwei as the treasure in his palm, and think that no one could compare to her. But reality hit him hard. Forget it, just repay Ji Qingwei's life-saving grace. Comforting herself like this, Yu Yao finally felt better. Old man Yu said flatly, Yao, let's go back to. Yu Yao regained consciousness and followed, but was stopped by someone. He turned his head, saw someone he knew, and greeted him, Uncle Su. The middle-aged man nodded, Master Yu, now that the dust has settled, I can talk about some things. Yu Yao was very respectful, speak. That's right, my son was also kidnapped in that kidnapping case. The middle-aged man shook his head with a compassionate expression, he saw who saved you. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 515. Yu Yao was stunned for a moment, unable to understand the meaning of the sentence immediately. What? It's not Ji Qingwei. The middle-aged man sighed, Master Yu, you've got the wrong person. As if a sledgehammer was smashed down on his Tianling cap, Yu Yao's mind went blank for an instant, his face paled instantly, and he said angrily, what nonsense are you talking about? It was precisely because of that kidnapping case that Ji Qingwei dragged him out that he was able to escape. This is already the last spiritual pillar for him to comfort himself. Now someone tells him it's not true. I'm not talking nonsense. The one who really saved you was Miss Qinjao from the Ji family. The middle-aged man said with a calm expression, Master Yu, you have never thought about how many years Ji Qingwei is younger than you. Rescued you. Yu Yao pursed her lips, her complexion became even paler. He had indeed thought about this issue, but Ji Longta and his wife insisted that it was Ji Qingwei who saved them. What's more, Ji Qingwei's health did get worse and worse at that time. In the past, Ji Qingwei was weak and beautiful, he never doubted it at all. The middle-aged man said again, if you don't believe me, you can ask Ji Longta yourself to see if they are lying. Yu Yao clenched his fists and ran back to the ward. Ji Longta and his wife were still immersed in the great grief of being used by Ji Qingwei. MRSG kept cursing Ji Qingwei as a white-eyed wolf. Seeing Yu Yao who suddenly turned back, both of them were startled. Yu Yao's eyes were red, who saved me back then, tell me. MRSG met his gaze, flinched, and murmured, yes, it's Jing Yao. Of course it's Jing Yao. Ji Longta hated Ji Qing to the core, and he didn't hide anything at the moment, she even wants the lives of me and her mother, how can she save outsiders? Yu Yao's body swayed, his face turned pale, he grabbed MRSG's shoulder, his voice trembling, why are you lying? We just thought that Qingwei is still young and Qinjao is old, so she should let her sister go. MRSG was a little flustered, Yao, you trust Auntie should know that Ji Qingwei would repay her kindness like this, she would never partial to her. 10 years ago, the Ji family could only be regarded as a medium-sized family in 49 City, but with the help of the Yu family, it has been able to compare with the Lin family in recent years. Originally, MRSG didn't want to give Ji Qingwei the credit for Ji Qinjao's contribution, after all, Ji's family can benefit. But who made Ji Qingwei's body take a turn for the worse at that time, requiring a lot of medicinal materials? Only in this way can Yu Yao continue to find medicine for Ji Qinggui, and the Ji family can save money and effort. Even if Ji Qinggui's illness really can't be cured, he can still rely on Yu's family. It's just that none of them knew that Ji Qinggui's poor health was due to stealing luck that didn't belong to him. Get out, Yu Yao pushed MRSG away. He gritted his teeth. You will never even think about stepping into 49 City in your life. Madame Ji's lips trembled violently. She looked at Ji Longta helplessly and desperately. Longta, what should we do now? Ji Longta remained silent. The remorse in his heart had flowed into a river. Had they known this, they would never have done it. At least the Ji family still has a way out. But now, there is nothing. Mr. Ji did not have such good luck as Ji Longta and his wife. After all, people cannot be resurrected after death, and they died because of lack of luck. The Ji family was completely expelled from 49 City. The once famous Ji family disappeared just like that, and became the butt of jokes at the dinner tables of other famous families. At noon, after eating, Sci-fi returned to the Qinjun League. Ji Qingjao has already woken up and is chatting with Mu Qingmeng. How is your body? Sci-fi sat down by the window. Are you okay? There is no other discomfort, right? Ji Qingjao only felt that he slept for a long time without any adverse reactions. She also knew from Mu Qingmeng that it was Sci-fi who arrived in time, which saved her from the disaster. Sci-fi saved her again. Ji Qingjao wanted to stand up and salute, but was held down by Sci-fi. It's just a trivial matter. Ji Qingjao was stunned for a moment. She lowered her head and took a deep breath. Thank you, Miss Si. If you have anything to do in the future, I will definitely die. You are my fan, so I must protect you. Sci-fi looked lazy and his tone was casual. If there is a mountain of swords and a sea of fire, I will go up the mountain of swords and the sea of fire, and it will not be your turn. She said this lightly, but Ji Qingjiao's heart was shocked. Those who bear the great fortune have greater responsibilities. It's a pity that Ji Qinggui will never understand this truth. Not everyone can be a daughter of luck. Sci-fi is always using her words and deeds to prove that she is worthy of Muzi's love. Qingqing's words are serious. Mu Qingmeng smiled, and us old people, why can't you young people go first? Didn't Mr. Yu come with you? He's busy with business, so he's going back to Bizhu first. Sci-fi also smiled. I have to rush back to film in the evening, and I've been out for more than a week. If I don't go back, the progress of the crew will be delayed. Mu Qingmeng nodded. I'll take you back with Qingjao. I just happen to be visiting the crew as well. She used to work behind the scenes, and she quit her job in the entertainment industry after entering Qinjunmen. She also regretted that the traffic has developed over the years, but there are fewer and fewer good dramas. One piece of Walking the Devil is really not enough to watch. Mu Qingmeng is going to watch the filming of The Female General of Zhenguo Live, first to satisfy his hunger. No problem. Sci-fi snapped his fingers. I'll tell the director. She just happened to be able to pull Mu Qingmeng to make a cameo. At this moment the door was knocked. Mu Qingmeng looked up. Come in. Madam, Miss Si, Miss Qingyao. The chief guard bowed before he spoke. The third young master of the Yu family begged to see Miss Qingyao, saying that he was blind and misunderstood the savior and harmed Qingyao. Miss Yao was treated like that by the Ji family, so she came here to apologize. Sci-fi raised his eyebrows. Savior. There was a serious kidnapping case at that time, the chief guard said. Many children were kidnapped, Miss Qingyao was among them, and the mastermind of this kidnapping case has not been caught yet. Sci-fi nodded. The kidnapping case was just superficial, but in fact, Ji Qinggui's godfather wanted to take her luck. Mu Qingmeng looked at Ji Qingjao. Qingjao, you saved the young master of the Yu family. Ji Qing frowned. I don't have any impression. She was indeed kidnapped at the time, but she had already practiced in Qinjunmen for several years and knew basic fighting skills. Naturally, her physique and strength were not comparable to other children. She saved a few people, but she really didn't remember if Yu Yao was among them. But Ji Qingjao also knows that Yu Yao has been protecting Ji Qinggui because Ji Qinggui saved his life. However, she has been living in the Qinjun League, and has no intersection with Yu Yao at all. Then let him leave. Mu Qingmeng touched Ji Qing's head, and said in a calm voice, even the savior can admit his mistakes, what a big deal it can be. Also, Qingjao is my adopted daughter now, not something the Yu family can reach, let them take other thoughts, otherwise be careful and I'm welcome. Yu Yao was only sent by Mr. Yu to the Qinjunmen for training for a period of time, and he was not an official member of the Qinjunmen. She also doesn't intend to discipline her, and it's best for Yu Yao not to hang out in front of her. The chief guard responded, came to the door, and repeated Mu Qingmen's words to Yu Yao verbatim. Yu Yao opened his mouth and said eagerly, I really just want to apologize, nothing else. He couldn't say anything after that. It is true that he mistakenly identified his savior and took care of a snake-hearted person for so many years. Yu Yao regretted endlessly, and his heart ached unbearably. He had no choice but to leave Qinjunmen and return to Yu's house. Okay, don't think about the past. Old Master Yu saw that he had been hit too hard and his whole body was lost, so he said one more thing, now you don't have to worry about those people in Ji's family, just concentrate on your career, your uncle if you don't care about business, Grandpa still wants you to inherit the Yu family, you know. Yu Yao's voice was astringent, I see, Grandpa. He has paid so much for Ji Qinggui these years, but it turned out to be a scam, which made him unable to calm down for a while. Also, you don't have to stop searching, Senior Ghost Doctor. Old Master Yu nodded, I found it and showed your grandma about her body cold and headache. Once MRSU recovers from her illness, she won't hate Yu Zion so much. Mr. Yu still hopes to see harmony in the family and no disputes. On the other side, the Principality of Mustun. Lang Xian was invited by Raphael to attend the palace dinner. Hey, why didn't Miss Si come? Raphael was quite surprised, you are not kind. Lang Xian looked at him coldly, you are the ruler of Mustun Principality, don't you know that she returned to Daxia urgently yesterday? Oh, Raphael sighed, I'm too busy, I forgot about this matter, then I can only invite her back. With that said, he turned around and told the servant, send a box of gold to Daxia as an apology gift. The servant has gotten used to Raphael's style of doing things, and quickly went down to prepare. Fourth, you will stay here today. Raphael patted Lang Xian's shoulder, I have nothing else but a lot of money. Lang Xian squeezed the space between his eyebrows, and took his secretary to the palace that Raphael had prepared for him. Raphael is indeed very wealthy, and he has the best view position reserved for him. It was also the first time for the secretary to enter the palace, and he couldn't help but exclaim. Lang Xian sat down, what about the matter I asked you to investigate? Mr. Yun, this Ji Qinggui is really evil, the secretary said, our chip design drawings have not been fully disclosed to the public, and she can even draw the core design. The security technology on the cloud has always been perfect, and he thought Ji Qinggui had opened his eyes. Lang Xian frowned slightly, since Qinjunmen has accepted this matter, we don't have to worry about it. But she is indeed a habitual plagiarist, the secretary added, at the International Youth Art Exhibition at the beginning of this year, she also plagiarized Miss C's work. The concept and stitching of the two embroidery pictures can be said to be exactly the same. It's strange how it was copied. One vote for you, one vote for me. Let's celebrate the success of the fourth senior brother in advance. The update time has not changed, but Lao Xiao and Xiang have been out of sync. Xiao. Let the babies of Xiang move if they can, Lao Xiao. The situation in Xiang has reached the point where I went to find the editor today and we both hugged and cried together, because Lao Xiao, Xiang is said to be shutting down at the end of the month. If there is a baby who lost his mobile phone number, please add Xiao. Admin fix it? Alas, I don't understand why I have to change the app. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 516. Hearing this sentence, Lang Xuan's hand holding the pen paused suddenly. He raised his head and locked his eyes on the secretary. What did you say? His tone was deep and cold, mixed with a bit of haste. The secretary was taken aback, thinking that he had said something wrong. Mr. Yun, I. Where are the embroidered pictures? Lang Xian urged him. Show me the pictures. The secretary hurriedly handed over the collected photos. The International Youth Art Exhibition was held in Glen at the beginning of the year. Although it is very small, there are a lot of news related to it on the internet, all of which are high-definition pictures. Lang Xian began to compare the two embroidery drawings. The core design is exactly the same. He closed his eyes, clenched his fists, and the thoughts in his mind were suddenly perfectly connected at this moment. Ji Qinggui copied his junior sister's chip, and also copied Sci-fi's embroidery. Two completely different fields, but both copied the core ideas. He still doesn't know how Ji Qinggui successfully plagiarized, but it doesn't matter. Sherlock Holmes said that when you remove the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, is the truth. No wonder Sci-fi felt so familiar to him, because she was his little junior sister who died long ago. He should have known earlier, who else could design a chip that would make him feel refreshed, except for junior sister? When this thought completely occupied his whole body and mind, Lang Xian stood up abruptly. Before he even had time to pack his things, he just grabbed a wallet and rushed out. The secretary once again saw the speed of the world-class 100-meter race. He was stunned, completely unable to keep up with Lang Xuan's speed, and only had time to shout, "Mr. Yun." Lang Xian didn't stop, and smiled coldly. Tell that stupid Duke, he will be stupid all his life. This kind of IQ, why are you still on the top of the cloud? It simply lowers the average value of their brothers and sisters. He must stay away from Laolu in the future. Secretary. How is this going? He pinched his phone in a daze and stayed there for an unknown amount of time before meeting Raphael, who hurried over after receiving the servant's message. At this point in time, the palace had already been locked. Originally, Raphael was in his palace preparing to watch Sci-fi's variety show for a while before going to rest, but was told by the knights that Lang Xian ran away alone. That speed is called a fast one. What did you do, Mr. Yun? Raphael asked in surprise. Even if you run away, you have to tell me. Did he ask you to convey something to me? The secretary came back to his senses. Oh. Your Royal Highness, Mr. Yun did leave a message for you. Tell me. Raphael nodded. The secretary mechanically repeated Lang Xian's sentence. Stupid Duke, you will be stupid forever. Raphael. He had never received such a great insult in his life. He glanced at the trembling secretary, took out his cell phone, and dialed Lang Xian's cell phone number. After 3 rings, it was connected over there. I said, what's the matter with you? Why did you suddenly scold me? Raphael asked. Without me, where did you get the funds? Fourth, you are so unkind. Lang Xian didn't explain anything, just cursed again. Stupid. After finishing speaking, he hung up the phone and blocked Laolu in one go. Raphael. When the master is out of the customs, he must go to sue Lang Xian for the black case. The current time in the Great Xia Empire is morning, and Sci-fi had already rushed back to Bizhu by plane last night. Early this morning, Mu Qingmeng brought Ji Qinjiao and Zhang Shui into the crew of the female general of Zhenguo. The news that Ji Qinjiao was adopted as a foster daughter by the leader of the Qinjun League and his wife also spread in Siju City. Indeed, many people's minds became active. Once Ji's family fell, Ji Longta and his wife were expelled from Siju city. Ji Kinjao was an orphan without any relatives. If he could marry her, it would be equivalent to taking half of the Kinjunmen into his pocket. Several candidate heirs of the Yu family and Yu Yao's peers are also eager to try, especially after learning that Yu Yao was kicked out by the Kinjun League. They have more thoughts of this kind. Mu Qingmeng was too lazy to meet these thoughtful people, so she directly booked the earliest flight, out of sight and out of mind. Teacher Si is still resting. The road guide asked the staff to entertain a few people. Sit down, let's drink some juice first. Mu Qingmeng nodded, sat down, rested, looked at the surrounding scenery, and couldn't help but admire. The crew has worked hard. Nowadays, there are indeed not many conscientious crews who shoot scenes on the spot like this. Decades ago, it might take more than 10 years to shoot a movie, but now TV dramas are all post-processing special effects. No matter how realistic the special effects are, they are far inferior to the thousands of rivers and mountains in Daxia. Si was indeed still asleep, but he slept in the game cabin. At this time, she had just ended a war with Emperor Yin, and was so tired that she slumped on the chair. The game turned her into a weak military strategist who couldn't lift her hands or shoulders, which caused her to be carried on the horse by Emperor Yin several times. It was a disgrace in her life. While she was taking a breath, Zhang Suanjin also returned from the battlefield. Si greeted him. Young master. Military Division. Zhang Suanjin stepped forward and smiled. Military Division will return to Yong'an with His Majesty soon, right? I want to ask Military Division to help me bring something. Okay. Si nodded. I know, give it to Miss Zayu. The 9 Zhang Suanjin brothers have been fighting abroad for the past few years, and every year they will collect all kinds of rare treasures and give them to Zhang Zayu. Zhang Suanjin's voice paused for a rare moment, and his handsome face blushed slightly. No, I want to invite the military advisor to Zhongyonghao's mansion, and give this box to the lady in their mansion for me. He took out a sandalwood box from the blood-stained embroidered robe. Zhang Suanjin said in a low voice, as soon as this year is over, she will be 18, so she doesn't have to wait any longer. If she waits, she won't be able to get married. Si was startled. Only then did he finally understand what Zhang Suanjin said at the beginning. It's not that there is no sweetheart, but that you can't. He saw Mrs. Jiang's hard work these years, and he didn't want to delay another girl. When Zhang Suanjin rushed to the battlefield, he already knew that he would definitely die on the battlefield. He is a man without a future. With such complicated emotions, Si quit the game and pushed open the door of the game cabin. The sun was shining brightly outside. The sun had moved to the center of the sky, and it was noon. Mr. Si, your fans have come to see you at this moment. The screenwriter knocked on the door of the wooden house. Mr. You ordered takeaway for everyone. He must be hungry after sleeping for so long. Si rubbed his head, washed himself briefly, changed into a t-shirt and jeans and went out. Ching, are you okay? Mu Qingmeng pulled her over with concern. Is it because you haven't had a good rest these days? Or take a few days off? No, I just had a very long dream. Si voice was very soft. I dreamed about Zhang Suanjin, and I was very emotional. Mu Qingmeng was taken aback for a moment. Zhang Suanjin. Zhang Shuiyan also raised his head. Think about it every day, dream at night. The screenwriter said. Mr. Si is really dedicated, and has been changing Zhang Suanjin's plot, so it's just a dream. Si took a piece of snack and hummed, I've figured out how to add emotional drama to Zhang Suanjin. As soon as the sentence came out, everyone at the dinner table stopped their movements. The screenwriter was pleasantly surprised. Mr. Si, have you succeeded in psychic communication? Sang yanking. Receptivity is really fast. Si squinted his eyes and raised his eyebrows. Yao, how about a guest appearance? Through eternity, she met the eldest lady of the Zhongyonghao mansion that Jiang Suanjin was talking about. The eldest lady did not even leave a name in history. But not everyone can perform the demeanor around her. At least the current traffic stars can't. Ji Kinjao was a little confused, but I don't know how to act. It's okay, I'll teach you. As I fucking touched his chin, his fox eyes curled up. I think your temperament is quite suitable, better than those popular actors, and you can also use martial arts. We also saved Wu Ji's money. Sang Yanking. Finding someone to play a cameo is the second priority. In fact, the original intention is that you don't want to spend money, right? She had already seen through Sci-Fi's essence. The afternoon play starts at 2 o'clock. After eating, Sci-Fu went to look for Yu Zion. She rubbed her shoulders. I took a nap, but my back hurts from sleeping. Naturally, she couldn't say that the backache was because the holographic game perfectly simulated the pain, and she was thrown on the horse by Yin Huang. Hearing the sound, Yu Zion raised her head, put down the book in her hand, and said two words in a neither high nor low tone, "Come here." Why, despite asking, Sci still walked over. His slender, well-knit hands landed on her shoulders, with warmth that made people's hearts tremble. Sci only felt that her skin was itchy, and she was about to stand up, but his shoulder was held down by him. "Don't move," Yu Zion said lightly, "I'll give you a massage, and be careful that your bones are misaligned." The strength in his hand was just right, neither light nor heavy, which perfectly relieved the pain in her body. Sci thought for a while and made a suggestion, "Can I lie on my stomach?" Yu Zion twitched her brows, calmly, "Yes." She changed her position comfortably and lay down on the sofa. Outside the set, Lang Xian finally arrived. He didn't even have time to wipe off the sweat on his brow, he immediately found the road guide. Yuer Lu Dao felt that Lang Xian was very familiar. After staring at it for a few seconds, he suddenly realized, Mr. Yun. The CEO of Yun's Hang actually chased after their crew. Sorry for the interruption. Lang Xian took a deep breath before calming down his violent heartbeat. Excuse me, is Miss Si there? I want to see her, right now. He didn't intend to contact Shimin right now. After all, the source of the explosion more than 4 years ago has not been found until now, and it can only be attributed to an accident in the end. It's hard to guarantee that it wasn't the people from the teacher's sect who did it. The road guide hurriedly said, Yes, I will call her right away. Mr. Yun, please sit here first. Only then did Lang Xian's eyebrows relax. No matter what, he was the first person to find his junior sister. Such an achievement was enough for him to brag about for a lifetime. On every senior brother thinks he is the first one to find the little junior sister XD. 3 senior sisters, hidden merit and fame. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 517. Lang Xian sat down, his body was still trembling slightly, his fingertips were numb as if they had been electrified, which made his heart twitch. Even though it was confirmed that Si was the junior sister, he couldn't believe why a person who was mortal would come back to life. Perhaps the extremely powerful Onmyoji did have the ability to bring people back to life, but in the explosion 4 years ago, even Lao Wu and the master concluded that Xiaoju was hopeless. What's going on here? But these are not important. The important thing is that the little junior sister is still alive, and that is enough. Lang Xian exhaled slowly and waited quietly. At this time, Si just got up from the sofa. Yu Zion's massage technique was indeed very useful, it awakened the meridians all over her body, and the soreness also faded away. Si moved his limbs a bit. Take a rest, and I'll go to filming. I know, Yu Zion responded, and a few seconds later, he suddenly said, I heard that you dreamed about Jiang Suanjin last night. Huh? Si raised his head. Yes, I've been thinking about his plot, So I dreamed about it. Yu Zion remained calm, nodded, and asked, then he or Emperor Yin, which one do you prefer? Ninth brother, don't worry, Emperor Yin is my destiny, I will not change my mind. I fucking said lazily, at most, I just have a few walls. Yu Zion's hand stopped, and he smiled and looked at her, on the wall? How many? Marshal Zhang Haiping of Zhenguo, Zhang Suanjin of Army Commander in White, and Zhang Zheyu, the female general of Zhenguo. I fucking counted on his fingers. By the way, there is also Shiju Wen Changyi, they are all my wall. It is said that Shiju and Wen Changyi are also a beautiful young man, not only extremely talented, but also martial arts. The great Xia at that time was worthy of the word prosperous age, and heroes emerged in large numbers. Well, there are quite a lot of walls. Yu Zion supported his head, he closed his eyes, and said in a calm voice, it seems that as long as they are famous historical figures, they are all your walls. There are also people who are not famous. I fucking blinked, during Yin Huang's time, the eldest lady of Zhongyanghao's residence. Hearing this, Yu Zion suddenly opened her eyes, and her gaze became sharper. How does the girl know the eldest lady of the Zhongyanghao mansion? He did remember this young lady. He also came from a family of generals and grew up with Zhang Suanjin. It's just that heaven is jealous of talents, and beauty is also unlucky. On the day Zhang Suanjin died in battle, she drove 2,000 kilometers with one horse, once again broke into the barbarian general's tent, and snatched Zhang Suanjin's body back. It was also because her spirit and body were exhausted, but within 2 days, she passed away. In the end, the two were buried together in Bizhu. It's just that the history books did not record this period of romance, and no historians have dug deep into the life records of this young lady. They thought that Zhang Suanjin should be a white-clothed army commander who had no love in his heart and was devoted to De Xia. But as long as he is a human being, there is no way he can be ruthless. Here, I fucking took out his phone and pulled out a PDF file. I just found the information. It says that Mrs. Zhongyanghao's mansion and Zhang Suanjin are childhood sweethearts. Maybe there is some relationship, please praise me. The darkness in Yu Zion's eyes faded away, he raised his hand, touched her head, his eyes were soft. Praise you, you are very smart. I asked you to praise me, not to let you take the opportunity to touch my head. I fucking glanced at him, and immediately lifted Xiaobai up. Here, I'll let you rub it casually. Xiaobai ran away with the rub. When gods fight, it doesn't want to get involved. I fucking. Inverse, girl. The door of the lounge was knocked at this moment. Teacher Ludeo stammered, someone came to see you. Yes, it's the CEO of Yun's Hang. I fucking raised his eyebrows. It seems that the fourth senior brother has successfully matched her code. Brother 9, I'm off to work. I fucking waved his hand, go and work too. Yu Zion, okay. The screenwriter led Fu over. Far away, under the huge parasol, when he caught the figure of the girl, Lang Xian couldn't wait. He stood up abruptly, and was about to rush forward, when he suddenly realized that there were quite a few people around him, all watching him. Although he came alone, it's hard to guarantee that there won't be any eyeliner around him. So after coming here, he even destroyed all the electronic equipment on his body. In any case, little junior sister can't have any more accidents. Mr. Yun, Mr. Si is here. Director Lu smiled, if you have anything to do, you can ask the crew at any time. We can shoot other people's scenes first in the afternoon. Lang Xian restrained the shocking waves in his heart, and said calmly on his face, there are still some problems in the endorsement, and I need to discuss it with Miss Si. It should be. Ludeo was happier than Si fucking, hurry up, prepare a private lounge for Teacher Si and President Yun. Soon a staff member came forward and brought the two into a room. Lang Xian habitually checked whether there was any monitoring equipment, and then turned on the signal shielding equipment, so he was relieved. He turned his head, met the girl's familiar eyes, clenched his fists tightly, and his eye sockets couldn't help turning red. Lang Xian moved his lips, obviously he had 1,000 words to say, but at this moment he couldn't say anything. In the end, he let out a breath slowly, and called out softly, "Little junior sister." Sci-fi smiled, "It's me, fourth senior brother." After receiving an affirmative answer, Lang Xian closed his eyes and said hoarsely, I still can't believe it." The real answer was completely beyond all his cognition. A few minutes later, after confirming that Sci-fi was indeed a living person, Lang Xian finally calmed down, and his thoughts were also calmed down. He asked, "Junior sister, did you say that Ji Qinggui plagiarized those words on purpose?" Sci-fi raised his eyebrows. "Yes, fourth senior brother, he has a good IQ. He recognized me so quickly, which is much better than sixth senior brother." Old six, Lang Xian frowned, "I haven't scolded him yet. He knew you earlier than me, why didn't he recognize you? I asked him if he felt that you were very familiar, and he also say no. So I don't count on him anymore." Sci-fi sighed, "I have reminded sixth senior brother many times, but unfortunately he has a powerful dodge function, and forcibly avoided all my reminders. What can she do?" Hearing this, Lang Xian snorted slightly, "If you had reminded me earlier, how could I have found you now?" Sci-fi fell silent and said nothing. Lang Xian also realized that he had said something wrong. If he was standing in the position of the junior sister and died in an explosion for no reason, he would not have contacted the other brothers and sisters in the first place. The only person you can trust at this time is yourself. Junior sister. Lang Xuan's voice was astringent, "During this time, you have suffered." He didn't know that she suffered a lot when she exploded, let alone what she went through afterwards. "I'm fine." Sci-fi's eyebrows and eyes were loose, "Isn't this seeing you again?" "You," Lang Xian caught the key words, and he immediately asked, "Who else?" Sci-fi coughed lightly, "Fourth senior brother, guess what?" These words made the veins on Lang Xuan's forehead twitch, and he gritted his teeth, "I'm not the first to find you. How could someone be earlier than him? If you ask me to guess, then they must have a special way of identifying people." Lang Xian quickly found out the suspect. "Is it the third child or the fifth child?" Just as Sci-fi was about to speak, he was interrupted again, "No, judging by your expression, it should be the two of them." Sci-fi. Sometimes people are too smart, which is not a very good thing. The fourth senior brother is too good at guessing. Once again, I got the answer from Sci-fi's expression. This time it was Lang Xuan's turn. "He is autistic. It's fine if he's not number one, but he's ranked third. Who can bear this?" Sci-fi comforted him, "Fourth senior brother, don't be sad, at least you are earlier than sixth senior brother." Lang Xian pressed the center of his brows, and exhaled slowly, "Xiaoju, don't compare me with him. He is not to be compared with a fool. What can the sixth child do? It will only lower their average IQ. Lao Wu just left the Holy Light Tribunal a few days ago. He is an onmyoji, and there are many people staring at him in Liberty Continent." Lang Xian paused for a while, and then said, "But Lao San has always been very mysterious. Capture her whereabouts, she is by your side." As he said that, his eyes gradually became sharper. "I thought your assistant was very familiar at that time. She has a kind of cold rose fragrance on her body. It seems that the third child has disguised himself as your assistant, and has been by your side all this time. She was the first to find you." Sci-fi raised his hand, quite convinced, "Fourth senior brother, stop talking, let me treat you to dinner." "No, I'm not hungry." Lang Xian glanced at her with a smile, "You go to filming, I'll wander around here." On the other side, Anken. According to the information obtained, the Great Elder and Yin Yungzi found Ting'an restaurant. The students were all on vacation for the summer vacation, and there were no customers in the restaurant. Ye Zhenmian was reading a book in the restaurant, seizing every opportunity to study. She seemed to feel something, raised her head to look around, and slightly tightened her fingers pressing the book. In the coffee shop across the road, the great elder frowned. Yin Yeonian married an ordinary person without evolutionary genes. Although S-level evolutionists are rare, there are nearly 100 of them in the world. And Yin Yeonian, who is the best among S-level evolutionaries, doesn't care about his bloodline? What kind of offspring with excellent blood can be born by combining with ordinary people? Apart from the hatred from more than 20 years ago, only disappointment remained in the great elder's heart. Back then, the Yin family arranged marriage partners for both Yin Baikan and Yin Yeonian, and the worst was A-level. Coupled with the guarantee of the Evolution Alliance laboratory, there is a 70% certainty that a super A-level or S-level offspring can be born again. Yin Baikan and Yin Yeonian actually wasted such an excellent bloodline. If there is only Uncle Yeonian, the family will definitely be willing to take him back. Yin Yongzi frowned in embarrassment, but if he brings the other three, will the family allow him to come back? A former genius who gave birth to ordinary offspring, wouldn't it make the Yin family a joke in the evolutionary world? Ancient content is generally written interspersed, or written in the form of a play within a play, and will not be written in detail. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 518. Not to mention the Yin family, even other evolutionary families would never raise so many ordinary people. That's right, the great elder's eyes were burning. It seems that we don't have to do anything, they can't go back to the Yin family at all, and even if they go back, they won't be able to threaten you. Yin Yongzi smiled. She glanced and saw a tall and straight young man entering from the door of the restaurant. She asked in surprise, "Grandpa, is that Uncle Yao Nian's son?" The great elder looked over. Nian Yan just came back from the library. He put down his school bag, and walked to the table. "Mom, the location of the store in Siju City has been selected, it's in the university town, and we will move there after my sister finishes filming. It just so happens that Uncle Yu also lives there." Ye Zhenmian raised her head. "What's your name, Mr. Yu?" "Ah," Nian Yan was stunned, "I'm the same age as Yu Tang, and her name is Uncle Ju, so I followed suit. Is there anything wrong?" Ye Zhenmian sighed, and pushed him. "What are you barking? You have to bark with Ching Ching, so as not to mess up your seniority." Nian Yan called Brother Yuzian. He really couldn't say it. Sister Kinking's name is Brother Nine, that's for fun. He called and estimated that he would be killed by a look. "Mom, why do you have goosebumps?" Nian Yan noticed Ye Zhenmian's abnormality. "Is it cold? I'll turn off the air conditioner." "No," Ye Zhenmian frowned, "I feel that there are evolutionaries nearby, and they came with bad intentions. One A-level and one S-level are within 100 meters, but I don't know the exact location. I just sent a message to tell your father to come back. If something happens, let's run first. Your father said that you are very talented in escaping, and no one can catch up." She was quite worried that Nian Yan's wings would break during the high-speed flight. Nian Yan choked on the water. He looked at Ye Zhenmian like a monster. "Mom, you are too." The word abnormal still didn't come out. Ye Zhenmian does have an invisible evolutionary gene in her body, but she is still an ordinary person, and she can detect the existence of other evolutionaries so accurately. After all, he didn't even feel anything. "Okay," Nian Yan nodded. "Mom, don't worry, I'm really good at running away." Outside, the great elder didn't know that he had been discovered, and was still observing the interior of Ting'an restaurant. His eyes narrowed, and he kept scanning Nian Yan. There are fluctuations in the energy of the evolvers, but they are quite indistinct. And advanced evolutionists like A-level and above will overflow their power. Even if there are evolutionaries who can control their own power, it is impossible to be so low that it is almost imperceptible. Sure enough, even an S-level evolutionary, the offspring born from the union with ordinary people, will not have any miracles in bloodlines. The Great Elder was not in the mood to stay any longer, and said flatly, "Let's go." Yin Yongzi nodded, and was about to leave with the Great Elder when her footsteps suddenly stopped, as if she had fallen into some barrier. At the same time, the air around the two became thinner. Yin Yongzi only felt that it was difficult to breathe, and she struggled to speak, "Grandpa." The Great Elder also felt it, and his expression changed wildly, "It's Yin Yaonian." At the same level, but able to suppress Yin Yongzi in terms of blood, only Yin Yaonian will appear here at this time. The Great Elder raised his head abruptly. This is the first time he saw Yin Yaonian again after more than 20 years. Bronze-colored skin, smooth muscle lines, hidden extremely huge power. As if a towering mountain is insurmountable. At this time, Yin Yaonian glanced in their direction. The line of sight did not meet. But just looking at it from a distance, the Great Elder felt an unprecedented fear. After more than 20 years, Yin Yaonian has become even stronger. It is much more difficult for an S-level evolutionary to practice than other evolutionaries. It must be difficult for Yin Yaonian to be away for more than 20 years, otherwise he would not be reduced to marrying an ordinary person. Without resources, without the guidance of predecessors, Yin Yaonian will not retreat but advance. The Great Elder has been in the evolutionary world for so many years, and he has never seen such a thing. Time passed by every minute and every second. Just when Yin Yongzi couldn't control himself and was about to kneel on the ground, Yin Yaonian finally withdrew his gaze. The air is also recirculated. Yin Yongzi coughed violently, ahem. On the way to Anken, she had already heard from the elders how strong Yin Baikan and Yin Yaonian were, and how the Yin family could be firmly established as the number one among the three evolutionary families. At first she thought that the Great Elder must have exaggerated. Only now did she know that there was a difference between S rank and S rank. Although she is S rank, she has no combat power, and her fighting skills are only better than ordinary people. Yun 11, let's go. The Great Elder spoke hastily, he has found us, so he can't stay any longer. The two left immediately, and didn't stop until they were 10 kilometers away. Yin Yongzi has returned to normal, Grandpa, I'll go to the crew of the female general of Zhenguo. Okay, you go, the elder said, I'll go back to Yin's house first. Here, in Tingan restaurant. Ziwimian Yin Yaonian held Ye Zhenmian's shoulder, is there any danger? No, Ye Zhenmian smiled, I will protect myself, and Yin is still there. Our mother and I can run away. Is it the Yin family? Yes, Yin Yaonian said calmly, sooner or later, this day will come. After more than 20 years, he is finally going back to the Yin family. You don't have to worry about me, it will be convenient for you to find your eldest brother and sister-in-law when you go back to Yin's house. Ye Zhenmian helped him arrange his clothes, and said softly, Yin is studying in Siju City, and I will accompany him. Yin Yaonian's tense body also relaxed, okay. In the afternoon, the crew of the female general of Zhenguo. Yin Yongzi didn't expect that someone would choose to film in such a rugged place, which couldn't even be reached by car, and had to walk a certain distance. Hello, Yin Yongzi nodded, is Miss Si there? The road guide looked at her suspiciously, you are. Yin Yongzi's smile remained unchanged, and she showed her ID, I am the examiner of Miss C's international entrance exam, and I have something to tell her. Her tone is very gentle, and there is an inherent condescension between the lines and the words used. The road guide was a little uncomfortable, but he knew the seriousness of the matter when he heard the words international entrance examination. He asked the staff to go to Sci-fi first, and after getting permission, he brought Yin Yongzi in. Sci-fi just finished filming. Miss Si, we meet again. Yin Yongzi nodded slightly, so you said you like acting, not just talking about it. The weather in July in the Great Xia Empire was very hot. But Sci-Fi was wearing armor weighing 20 to 30 kilograms and stood under the sun for 7 or 8 hours. But any evolutionary with a poor physique cannot bear such suffering. Sci-Fi took off his helmet, sat down, and filled a bottle of water. What's the matter? Yin Yongzi looked at the girl in front of her carefully, and said slowly, Miss S, I should already know about the Yin family, right? If such a tragedy hadn't happened to the Yin family back then, Sci-Fi and Nian Yin would have been the real young ladies and young masters of the Yin family. Pity. And Sci-Fi took the towel from Yu Jian's hand to wipe off his sweat. Is there anything else? No more. Yin Yongzi stood up. Since MSSI is going back to the Yin family, I suggest you put off the actor's job. Sci-Fu groaned, raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Guide Lu, take out irrelevant people. The road guide didn't ask any questions, and immediately asked the staff to invite Yin Yongzi out. Yin Yongzi's smile faltered. She never expected that Sci-Fi would not even give her any face. Miss, don't care about people in small places. The guard smiled. She doesn't know what you mean to the evolutionary world at all. Your medical skills are second only to ghost doctors. Yin Yongzi naturally knows the name of Ghost Hand Doctor. Some people suspect that the Ghost Doctor is an evolutionary, while others suspect that he is an onmyoji. Otherwise, how could it be possible to possess such high medical skills? The number of people who have been rescued by the ghost-handed heavenly doctor is not counted on the fingers. It's just that these people were all seriously injured and dying, and they were rescued. They had never seen a ghost doctor, and they didn't know what healing method he used. Yin Yongzi looked away. Let's go. At the same time, the Yin family. Mrs. Yin made all the preparations for the return of Yin Yaonian's family and Sci-Fi. Yin Pingsheng, the grand elder of the Yin family, is nearly 100 years old now, but his body is still as strong as a middle-aged man in his 40s. The genes mutated by the evolutionary can bring many benefits to the evolutionary, such as physical strength, endurance, lifespan. All are stronger than ordinary people. This is also the reason why a large number of evolutionaries are proud. Wanyan, I know you have had a hard time these years, Yin Pingsheng said, but you have to know that other people are also having a hard time. They also had relatives who died in that tragedy. Mrs. Yin was silent. She knows it all. Even if Yin Baikan and Yin Yaonian are innocent, but people's feelings are too complicated, how could they not vent their anger? I discussed with several ancestors that Yin Yaonian can come back, and the family can apply for him the resources he should have to restore his identity. Yin Pingsheng said, he can also bring Yin Baikan's daughter and the family will go back to Yin's house together. Yin Yaonian is an S-level genius that is rare in the Yin family. Those who killed the Yin family have not moved for so many years. Yin Pingsheng also wanted to take a gamble to bring Yin Yaonian back and develop the Yin family. After all, no matter how unique Yin Yongzi's evolution ability is, he has not yet evolved to the point where he can change the structure of molecules and atoms. With Yin Yaonian in charge of the Yin family will not be suppressed by the Lotbar family and the Deadwood family. In this way, the status of the Yin family can be raised to a higher level in the Free State. Mrs. Yin was a little surprised that the Supreme Elder agreed so easily. I haven't finished my words yet. Yin Pingsheng interrupted Mrs. Yin's words. Those three people can come back when they come back, but I'll put my words here first. The status of your granddaughter and grandson is impossible no matter what. Beyond Yongzi. Good morning. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 519. Yin Yongzi, along with Ojilia Lotbar and Deadwood Minjiao, are known as the three major geniuses in the evolutionary world. It was also because of Yin Yongzi that the Yin family was not included in the ranks of the three major evolutionary families. Yin Pingsheng also loves this junior very much, and all the family resources of the Yin family are also tilted towards Yin Yongzi. It's just that so far, Yin Yongzi's evolutionary ability really has nothing to do with combat. To put it bluntly, you know how unique Yun 11's evolutionary ability is. Yin Pingsheng continued, there are too few evolutionary abilities that can still evolve. If one day she can change the structure of molecules and atoms, how difficult it will be resolved. Evolvers have evolutionary genes, but they are also tortured by the power of riots. If this negative effect can disappear, they are truly new humans. Mrs. Yin's expression was also very cold. Elder Tais Hang, I also put my words here. Ching Ching and Yin can live well outside. I don't intend to have any disputes with Yongzi, but Ching Ching and Yin must have. How could she fail to see that Yin Pingsheng really wanted Yin Yaonian to come back? But if Si fucking and Nian Yin were wronged, it would be better not to return to the Yin family. Yin Pingsheng frowned, but finally let go. Yes, their treatment is the same as that of direct descendants, but other resources and interests must be fought for by themselves, otherwise other direct descendants will complain. No problem, this is the rule of the evolutionary. Mrs. Yin smiled lightly, as long as the Supreme Elder, you don't want to be too partial. Yin Pingsheng narrowed his eyes, naturally. Then I will go to pick up Yao Nian and them. Mrs. Yin stood up, please prepare everything, the Supreme Elder, and don't miss the important link. After she finished speaking, regardless of Yin Pingsheng's slightly ugly face, she went straight out. Outside, Yin Qiashi followed Mrs. Yin, and complained in a low voice, old lady, if they know that the young lady does not have the ability to heal the evolutionary in this area, but can still calm the violent energy in your body, it may be too late to ask the young lady to come back. What are you talking about to them? Mrs. Yin sneered, Ching Ching wouldn't have come back if she hadn't found her former enemy. What's more, they want to avenge the Yin family who died protecting Yin Baikan and Yin Yaonian brothers. This is the belief that supports Mrs. Yin. Mrs. Yin coughed a few times, go, pick up Ching Ching. The crew of the female general of the town is here. Junior sister, you want to go back to the Yin family? Lang Xian frowned, why do you want to enter the circle of evolutionaries? The evolutionaries fight and kill every day, especially the two prodigal sons, the second and the third. Si fucking blinked, the Yin family is not important, but my relatives are, not to mention that I have to use the Yin family to go back to Liberty Continent. You. Lang Xian sighed, okay, I'm all on my side, so what about your work in the entertainment industry? My job is as an actor, so of course I will continue to act and get endorsements. Si fucking stretched his waist, fourth senior brother, although we are close, the endorsement fee must be paid. Lang Xian laughed, I won't miss you, you are really busy. It was rare for him to feel so relaxed during the few days he lived in the crew. Si fucking suddenly asked, fourth senior brother, do you have a date? Lang Xian. I know a lot of beautiful girls, and I will introduce one to you when the time comes. Si fucking took his time, but I have to find brother 9 first, so you go to the back row. No need, Lang Xian refused, you should introduce it to Lao Lu, I think he really wants it. That can't be done. Si fucking looked casual, my friends are very smart, what should I do if his IQ is lowered by him? Lang Xian suppressed a smile and shook his head, anyway, I don't need it, I don't have any thoughts about it. Me too. Si fucking snapped his fingers, earning money gives me a sense of accomplishment. The phone dinged, and a message came in. Ya Zhenmian, Ching Ching, we are on our way, and we will arrive at the set in a while, you don't need to bring anything after packing. Si Fu responded with an okay. She stretched slowly, and got up, fourth senior brother, I'm leaving first. If you need anything, you can talk to my assistant. Lang Xian's eyebrows twitched. He didn't want to confront the third child. Sci didn't dress up, he carried a bag, walked out slowly, and dialed Odilia's cell phone number with the other hand. She lazily said, I heard that the Evolved Alliance has released a new medicine. Do you have it? Send me 2 boxes. Your news is well informed, Odile snorted, it just hasn't been distributed yet, so I'll cut a few boxes for you, just wait. Sci. What is cut? Next, she knew what it meant to cut off. Odile went directly to the door of the laboratory and stopped the guards who were escorting the medicine. The guard was obviously used to her behavior, but this time he didn't give it, and said anxiously, Miss Odile, there are only 40 boxes this time, which is not enough. Odile's voice was cold, stop talking nonsense, will you give me? Thump. The sound of slipping and kneeling came clearly from the microphone. Sci. Why was everyone she knew so violent? Shouting and shouting at every turn? Sci. fell into deep thought. Tens of seconds later, Odile's voice returned to the microphone, I got it, cut 10 boxes, and I'll send it to your crew. No, you send it to Yin's house, Sci. said, I'm too lazy to prepare gifts, so just use this. Okay, Odile replied, I know the address of the Yin family, I'll send it right away. The two of them didn't take this new drug seriously for a while. Even with this new medicine, even the S-class family can only get 2 boxes. Although the rating of the Yin family is still higher than S grade, the whole family can only get 10 boxes. But there are more than a few hundred members of the Yin family. Odile asked again, you want to go back to the Yin family? So you are from the Yin family? Probably. Sci. hummed, thanks to you, I finally didn't hear Baiyu Egwang's remarks anymore. You said Chris, he has indeed calmed down a lot, Odile said, but he recently started looking for the ghost doctor, saying that no one can cure his blindness except the ghost doctor. Sci. smiled. Isn't this still her? Stop looking, what to look for, she is dead. After 3 hours, everyone arrived at the domain where the Yin family was located. After leaving the airport, Yin Yaonian was in charge of driving, and Sci. sat in the co-pilot's seat. The two occupied the most critical positions, and this car can be said to be impenetrable. In the back seat, Nian Yin was a little nervous, there won't be any assessment, right? What if I can't pass it? He is just a transcendent a grade. The corner of Yin Qiushi's mouth twitched, young master, if you can't pass, no one in the Yin family can pass. Nian Yin was relieved. After an unknown amount of time, Yin Yaonian suddenly said, here we are. Over the past 20 years, the Yin family's mansion has been renovated several times, but the old appearance can still be vaguely seen. Yin Yaonian's hands trembled slightly. It was here, the bloody scene, he would never forget it no matter what. Mrs. Yin obviously thought about it too, she patted Yin Yaonian on the back, let's go, go in first. Yin Pingsheng has notified the rest of the Yin family, and they all know that Yin Yaonian is coming back. Different thoughts? Now the core members of the Yin family are known by Yin Yaonian, but he has no memory of most of them. Sci. raised her eyes and saw many targets on the school field, she raised her eyebrows. Yaonian, long time no see. A middle-aged man stepped forward, very friendly, they are competing in spear skills, let the juniors play with them, and we brothers have a chat. Yin Yaonian did not let go of Ye Zhenmian's hand, and smiled lightly, okay. Mrs. Yin and Yin Qiushi were also dismissed, leaving only Sci. and Nian Yin. Are you the son of Uncle Yaonian? Then you have to call me cousin. The young man stuffed a gun into Nian Yin's hand, we are playing shooting, can you? The shooting skills are taught by Yu Jian to Nian Yin. Evolvers seldom use weapons, especially combat-type advanced evolvers, so Yin Yaonian does not have a deep ability to use guns. Yuejian is because he often has missions in T18 and will deal with some transnational criminals, So he has excellent spear skills. When Nian Yan got the gun, he was still a little confused. Do you want me to shoot at the target? Of course it's a target. Is it possible to hit someone? A young man laughed loudly. Even if you hit someone, who can hit someone? No matter how poor the Yin family is, all the direct descendants are A-level at worst, which is not comparable to other small and medium evolutionary families. Nian Yan's pedigree is so low, how can he compare with them? Nian Yan was really confused. Yuejian taught him spear skills, and the worst was shooting leaves? What's so good about hitting a target you don't understand at all? Is it possible that the enemy will stand still and let him fight on the battlefield? After confirming that it was really just a target, Nian Yan became more relaxed, and he casually pulled the trigger on the farthest target. Boom! A shot hit the bullseye, and the number of rings appeared on the screen. 9 rings. The field suddenly fell silent. The other boys and girls all looked over with surprise in their eyes. Of course they also knew that Nian Yan was Yin Yaonian's son, but he was just an ordinary person with almost no blood. Can you hit a 9 ring at random? Seeing everyone looking at him, Nian Yan said, "Ah, isn't that enough?" He fired again. The screen refreshes again. 9.5 rings. The arena was quieter. Hey, it's really not a big deal. Sister Yungzi is not a fighting type, but her marksmanship is very good. Finally, a girl said, 3 shots in a row, 3 shots with 10 rings. In terms of shooting, Sister Yungzi is more powerful, outperformed. Many people began to agree, praising Yin Yungzi non-stop, and mocking Yin Yungzi from time to time. Sci-fi picked out her ears, feeling a little irritable when she heard it. She took the gun from Nian Yan's hand and pointed it at the target. Bang bang bang. 10 shots in a row. After firing, she dropped the gun and crossed her arms. 3 guns and 10 rings, that's great. S rank, that's it? I don't want to play, but if I want to play, then play. See you tomorrow. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 520. Evolved people really don't like to use external force, because they have the capital of pride. Especially advanced evolutionists, spear skills are of no use to them at all. They can easily dodge bullets by virtue of their own abilities. An S-class like Yin Yaonian, who can instantly transform air into a gel, can even shatter bullets in an instant. Therefore, boys and girls just play shooting as an ordinary game, and they don't take it seriously. It's just that they are evolutionaries, and their natural precision is better than that of ordinary people. They got the news that Sci-fi and Nian Yan had returned, and they knew that the bloodline of the siblings was extremely low, no different from ordinary people. Why can ordinary people have the treatment of direct descendants? Only then did he get off his horse just now. But they never expected that they would be taught to be human instead. Everyone looked ahead, their brains stopped spinning. There are a total of 10 targets in the school field, and the screens on the targets are refreshed with new scores. 10 rings. 10 rings. Still 10 rings. At this moment, the audience fell into a deathly silence. Previously, Nian Yan hit 9 rings with a random shot, and everyone wondered if there was an element of luck. As a result, he hit a 9.5 ring next. Even if Nian Yan's 2 shots were luck, Sci-fi's 10 shots couldn't be luck. This is absolute strength. What's more, she can shoot 10 shots in a row, and she can still penetrate every target with rain and dew. In front of 10 spears and 10 rings, Yin Yungzi's 3 spears and 10 rings really seemed a bit unsightly. Boring Sci-fi took out a paper towel and wiped his hands. His voice was flat. Find something to do. If you have nothing to do, go to the construction site to move bricks. She expected that it would never be peaceful after returning to Yin's house, and she was prepared. But she didn't expect that the so-called dismounting was shooting. That's it? What kind of low-level games are you playing? She started touching guns when she was picked up by Ye Wanlin at the age of 5, and practiced 1,000 times in eternity every day. She didn't need to deliberately look at it at all, as long as she raised her hand, it was definitely the position of the bullseye. What's more, she practiced guns with ferocious beasts in the jungle, so what's a dead target? You still need to shoot targets in what age? I fucking glanced at the crowd, it's useless. She dragged Nian Yian away, no one dared to say a word, let alone step forward to stop her. They can't dodge or smash bullets perfectly. With Si fucking's aim, he could kill them with a single shot. It wasn't until the figures of Si fucking and Nian Yian disappeared completely that everyone gradually came back to their senses. 10 guns and 10 rings. Sister Yungzi doesn't even have this grade. She is so good. I want to ask her to teach me how to shoot. I heard that she is an actor, maybe she has taught spear skills in the crew. Impossible. I heard that the production team is now looking for a stand-in to use special effects. Even if I teach, how can she hit so far? If the stars are so fierce, the entertainment industry might as well just change its name to the Secret Agent Circle. The boys and girls looked at each other, a little confused. What's the big deal? The girl who had spoken earlier snorted softly, if it weren't for their father, would our Yin family have died so many people? It would be nice to be back, and still be so arrogant. Another person also said, comparing her with Sister Yun 11, it's still a bit too much. Yin Yungzi is the object of their admiration, a true genius. The elders also saw what happened on the school field. Yao Nian, I didn't expect you to teach children to shoot, the middle-aged man exclaimed. By the way, how is your strength? Have you not fallen behind in these years? It has indeed improved a lot. Yin Yaonian smiled lightly. Want to compare? No, no, no. Hearing the next 4 words, cold sweat broke out on the forehead of the middle-aged man. You have just come back, you should take a good rest first, and we can talk about the sparring later. In the conversation that followed, he quickly found an excuse to leave. Yin Yaonian's brows and eyes were covered with a layer of haze. Ye Zhenmian patted him on the back, and comforted him. Yao Nian, don't care about other people's attitudes, praise the high and step down, it's like this everywhere, this is the reality. No, I'm not angry with the Yin family's attitude towards me. Yin Yaonian clenched his fists, and he whispered, I'm angry because the bones of the Yin family have softened. Perhaps it was really because of the tragedy 20 years ago that the Yin family was frightened. Yin Yaonian took a deep breath. Zhou Mian, I will send you to Siju City tomorrow, I am afraid that you will be injured in a fight. Okay. Ye Zhenmian smiled, I'm not used to staying here, I still like to work in the restaurant, and Qing Qing will go to Xia University to report when the time comes, and I can also deliver meals to them. In the evening, the Yin family had a dinner party. The members of the direct line are at the first table, and other children are not allowed to enter. Si fucking and Nian Yian are also treated as members of the direct lineage, so naturally they are among them. Because of Yin Yaonian's presence, no one dared to provoke him during the dinner. Tell everyone some bad news. The great elder stroked his beard and sighed. The Yin family only has 5 boxes of the Evolutionary Alliance's batch of S-class medicine. As soon as the sentence came out, the table suddenly became chaotic. Isn't the S-grade drug at least 10 boxes at a time? Does the Alliance of Evolvers want to downgrade us? Why is it reduced by half? The great elder was about to speak when he caught sight of Nian Yian, who had closed his eyes. He frowned and shouted, Nian Yian, what do you think about this? Nian Yian was drowsy, and suddenly his name was called. He hummed and asked subconsciously, is it delicious? The table fell silent. This is medicine, the elder laughed angrily, how can medicine be delicious? Oh, Nian Yian lost interest, and then closed his eyes. If it doesn't taste good, he doesn't want it? Although his sister is not good at cooking and likes to fry the kitchen, At least she can make chocolate-flavored medicine, and his taste has been cultivated. The great elder punched the empty space, so angry that his brain hurts. This family is simply the best of the best. It was Yin Junping, the head of the Yin family, who said, "Why are there only 5 boxes?" The great elder let out a breath, and calmed down the anger in his chest. It should be that a few boxes were intercepted within the evolved alliance. I didn't expect so many to be intercepted this time. Only these are left in the hands of the major families. Yin Junping didn't have any special reaction, just nodded and said, "Then divide according to meritorious service." In this way, unfairness is avoided to the greatest extent. Among the younger generation, Yin Yongzi's meritorious service was the highest, so he was naturally allocated a whole box. This is what she deserves, and no one will envy her. "Miss Si, do you need it?" Yin Yongzi weighed the box in his hand and asked with a smile, "I can give you this box of mine. Although you don't need it with your bloodline, these medicines can strengthen your body." The great elder said flatly, "Yun 11 has a quota for herself, so there is an extra box of medicine. No need." Si fucking also closed his eyes and meditated, "Take care of yourself and don't bother me." Yin Yongzi's smile froze on his lips. The great elder slapped his chopsticks on the table with a snap. "Si fucking, Yun 11 talk to you well, what's your attitude?" "Great elder, are we talking wrong?" Yin Yaonian's eyes were sharp, "or do you want to fight?" He is also a short-term protector. After keeping a low profile for so many years, he still knows how to speak with his fists. The great elder's beard trembled, and he said angrily, "Yin Yaonian, if it wasn't for you, how could my brother die?" In a word, the atmosphere became tense in an instant, and swords were on the verge of breaking out. "Enough," Yin Junping said calmly, "Yao Nian, you can stay at home today, I will let the servants prepare well." Yin Yaonian restrained his momentum, and said lightly, "Okay." The dinner ended quickly, and the direct line members didn't dare to say a word to Yin Yaonian, and ran away immediately. Just kidding, who dares to face the top evolutionary in the S class? The oppressive sense of blood alone has already made them breathless. Especially Yin Yongzi. When she was in Anken, she had already seen Yin Yaonian's strength. She also had fear in her heart, and she left the hall and came to the door. The butler was instructing the servants to unload the goods. There are thousands of members of the Yin family, and there are many deliveries every day. Yin Yongzi asked, "Is there any courier for me?" "Yes." The butler respectfully handed some of the boxes to Yin Yongzi's hand. "There are some from the Alliance of Evolvers, and some from the Kukaki family. Miss Yongzi has saved many people again." Yin Yongzi nodded, glanced, and saw a large express box. "What is that?" Miss Yongzi, the housekeeper, said, "It's Miss C's express delivery, but I don't know what it is." Yin Yongzi looked away when she heard the words, and smiled lightly. "Well, this box doesn't look light, she doesn't have much strength, let someone send it to her." It seems that he really regards the Yin family as his own. It's only been less than a day, and the courier has already started to be received. Yin Yongzi also heard about what happened this afternoon. Si fucking fired 10 spears and 10 rings. Probably this kind of thing gave Si fucking a sense of accomplishment. Yin Yongzi shook her head and turned around. The butler unloaded the huge express box from the truck. The delivery information was written very scribbled, and it was possible to tell how unique the sender was from the handwriting. The butler moved closer, trying to make out the words on it. Collection, Si fucking. 2, Odilia Lot Bar. Not far from the previous one, give Ching Ching a rush. Rush up today 3 more wow.